Hello, this is Diane Cox back for some more tarot joy. Even though joy, I don't know, I'm going to do a reading on the state of humanity. I am, like most people, just startled, despairing of humanity and their reactions to what's going on in the world. I've seen, like I'm sure you have, posts of people who are so anti-abortion and pro-life celebrating death. People who think certain lives matter, but at this point, certain lives actually don't seem to matter. And, both I'm thinking about Israel and Gaza. Both sides are losing. It's a lose-lose situation, isn't it? When humanity turns to such ugliness. And it's just like, come on, humans. Surely we can do better than this. Surely. And so, as opposed to doing a reading on Israel and Gaza, because I just think, like I say, it's a lose-lose. As long as the elite are making masses of profits from selling arms, tanks, bombs, who knows what, there's going to be a big problem with stopping that, as money is the master and the drive, not kindness and compassion and human love and human understanding and human cohesion and human unity. So my reading, I've shuffled the cards already because I really wanted to tune in very specifically to just the humanity of where we're going and what we do, because I feel it's like another assault on the senses of humanity, more than an assault. It's a violation. I mean, I've seen some images that I will hold light for the images that I see. I won't look away from them. I will look at it and really send the, just try and send the biggest light to the areas, whatever that means, whether it's like going into a black hole, who knows, but, it's what I do. But yeah, just seeing some images, it's like a violation on the human system. Of all things that could be so beautiful with the world and so gorgeous and lovely, and all the things that we can see and we do see of people of differing opinions coming together and just accepting that people have a difference of opinion, and that's okay. This very bizarre thing about taking sides and thinking that you have to pick a side, which you don't at all. I don't think one loss of life from one side is more or less important than another loss of life on any other side. It's a violation of humanity, and we're all being asked to be desensitized to it and to celebrate, no matter what side, a loss of life. And that's a desperate place for humanity to be. It's a desperately sad, tragic place for humanity to have sank to. And I've heard all kinds of things and read all kinds of things about how people justify A, B, C, and D. And it's like, listen to yourself. Just listen to yourself. How can you ever think that that is right? How can you ever, seriously, in your heart of hearts, in your divine heart, how can you ever be okay with that? It's just beyond literally it's beyond my comprehension. It really is. So anyway, I've shuffled the cards, and this reading is about humanity, and it's about direction. And for those people who just need, I think a lot of the world will be in shock. We're just going from war to war, from catastrophe to catastrophe, and it's like it's so shocking for humans, and that has a real effect on the body. Obviously, and the mind and the soul. And so how do we kind of heal this? How do we heal humanity? How do we stop people celebrating the death of something that they don't understand or they don't like? I mean, how did we get so far away from the spiritualness of the ancients and the sages that have tried to illuminate the way. Anyway, I'm going on. You get the message. Let's see what comes up. Okay, so this is about humanity and the state of humanity and guidance for being a good human, being a decent human being. So what do we have first? A significator. Okay. So the first card is, as you know, if you ever watch my readings, the Knight of Wands to me represents Lord Flashheart from Blackadder. What's the significator here? Rushing in, all guns blazing, seeking adventure, seeking thrill, kind of craving the newness. It's kind of sudden change, getting on with it, knowing what I've asked about in this reading, I don't know about getting on with it is the right thing. Knowing my question, it can actually be about not so much getting on with it, but just thinking, just rushing in. And maybe it's rushing in to believe what we're told. What I find quite interesting is that we've all understood basically that the whole world was duped with vaccines. The whole world has been duped with so many things. So many truths are coming out. Why do we believe what we're told? You have to kind of move away from what you're being told and do your own kind of research. I've researched this situation in the Middle East for many years, and I've gone right round. I was favouring one side, and then I did more research, then leaned towards one side, then did more research, leaned towards the other side, and then just realised, again, it's all kind of, you don't have to pick a side. As people say, they're both victims and they're both perpetrators. So the Knight of Wands, there we go. So it's adventure seeking, and it's like kind of too much. It's too much. The significator, seeking adventure isn't the right word. Thrill. That to me speaks of, like kind of the elites, the thrill of making money from war and death. That's what I actually think about that, because that's what they do. Okay, what's crossing that card? Okay, that's interesting. The Seven of Pentacles. So what's crossing it? So this is Daedalus being asked to, being asked by the Queen for him to make a oh God, why has this card come up? Oh, please, in this Mythic Tarot deck. Basically, it's Daedalus being asked by the Queen. She's been put under a spell, okay, and she's fallen in love with that white bull. And she comes along to Daedalus, the fantastic carpenter, worksmith, inventor, and all kinds of things, to make her a wooden cow so she can crawl in and mate with the bull. Why has this come up in this reading? Who knows? The point of this card is that the king has been a very good benefactor to Daedalus, and he's now being asked to do something that is against his loyalty to the king, but he doesn't want to refuse the queen, and because she's been put under a spell, doesn't want to go against the doesn't want to have the wrath of, I think it's Zeus, upon him. So he's between the wrath of a god and the wrath of a king, and he doesn't quite know what to do. Actually, the meaning of the card makes sense. Between a rock and a hard place, I often say with this card. It's kind of a difficult choice to kind of thing, to kind of make the right choice, and to he actually decides to help the queen, and basically kind of it's not a good place to be for Daedalus. So keeping in mind what the reading is about, you've got the Lord Flashheart rushing in, too many guns blazing, literally, too much firepower. And then the crossing here is between a rock and a hard place, which I think a lot of the situation we see in humanity, and especially over there in the Middle East, in Israel and Gaza, is just right. All between a rock and a hard place. It's like, oh, terrible, what's right and what's wrong. What's the overarching card? Well, yeah, I can see that. Okay, so the overarching card here for humanity, where humanity is going, how humanity can just pull itself up, and instead of being dragged down, just pull it up to there's one thing being right in the middle of all that horror, and then there's another thing, kind of people listening to here, this card. So you've got Eros and Psyche, the story here. So there's Psyche. She's fallen in love with Eros. She's never seen him because he's a god. She's a mortal, and but she has this beautiful life, even though she never gets to lay eyes on him. But he comes to her at night in darkness. So he's a beautiful god. In this card, you've got her sisters basically saying it's all a load of hogwash. He doesn't exist. You're being fooled. This is, it doesn't. Oh, that's quite funny, isn't it? Talking about the whole thing and humanity. It's all a load of hogwash. You're being fooled. You are being fooled. We're all being fooled. Not fooled, but we are being persuaded. Psyche is persuaded that her sisters are right and she should lay upon the eyes of Eros, even though he's told her very specifically that she is never to look at him because she's not allowed to, because he's a god. And her sisters talk her out of it. So that's quite interesting. The overarching thing is trust and mistrust. And I know we have lots of mistrust in those who are pulling the strings of this world, depending on who you think it is. But with humanity, I suppose one has to start trusting in the good again, and trusting in those people who are really, truly brokering peace, proper peace, long-term peace. It's almost like the humans, and especially the male kind of humans of this moment, are unable to just sit quietly. I know it's in a man's kind of makeup and hormones to go forth and, hunt and protect and all that kind of stuff, but it's way beyond that. It's like a bloodlust. There's something very, very wrong with what's going on. And again, really, Psyche has to trust her knowing and trust what she's been told. We're divine beings. All the stuff that you hear. We're spiritual beings in a human body, and we come down, and this is the best we can do. This is the best. And I know that the majority of humans want peace. The majority of humans want just to get up in the morning and have a laugh and have food and just enjoy. You can't imagine, I can't imagine what it must be like for people waking up with missiles landing and buildings collapsing and stuff. It's just, it's like, oh man. And for those people who think it's I see a lot of people saying it's a psyop, it's all fake. I have to say how people penetrated the Israeli border with the hang gliders, whatever it was. It's just ridiculous. Of course they didn't. Of course it's all set up. It's all manufactured, and that's what makes it even worse. Humans manufacturing this for profit or gain. And even if it's gain of land, it's just like, oh, have we not evolved? It makes you think about a world without borders, doesn't it? It's like, how would that actually work if people are like, no, this is mine, no, that's yours, I could go into it, and I have my own opinions, but I'm not going to, because I want to talk about humanity. Okay, what's the base of the question? Yeah, that's about right as well. So the base of this, so this is the Knights of Swords. It's the Dioscuri, the twins. And again, it's swords. So it's it's Castor and Polydeuces, the Spartan twins, that were known for their aggressive, pushing violence. Okay, their Spartan violent ways of always wanting to, cause hassle wherever they went, and cause a lot of disrupt, and a lot of you can see the turbulent skies bringing storms wherever they went. God blimey, isn't that just right? So the basis of it, there's these characters in the world that just thrive on despair. If you ever heard that theory that those, what are they called, the greys, live off, those alien little grey things that live off fear, and that's what they agreed. Certain humans agreed to keep the world and Earth in fear in order that they would have an energy to live off. And it's just like, oh, okay. So, this is the Dioscuri, Castor and Polydeuces, and they are harbingers of change, sudden change, abrupt change, war coming. The clouds are there, and it's all kind of very unpleasant. But again, they're twins, and so it's the twin, because it's the element of the mind. It's the choice between creativity and destruction, as always. So it's quite interesting to have the Knight of Swords here pushing through with their kind of Spartan energy war. And of course here we've got the cups of emotion and creativity. We've already got air, fire, we've got it all, fire, earth, we've got everything so far. Okay, so in the past, what do we have in the past? Okay, so in the past we've got judgment. Here is Hermes, and even though Hermes is the messenger and normally associated with business and the mind and mercurial kind of actions, in this card, in this deck, Mercury is an emissary to Hades, and as you can see, he basically is here to guide the souls of the dying. Wow, well that's quite something, isn't it? He's in the underworld, and he's basically a guider of souls. And he is known to have the power to bring souls back to life, which is quite an interesting thing. But here, Hermes, judgment, making judgment on that which people have done. It's almost like, for me, the card of karma. And obviously you don't want to go into karma, talking about Israel and Gaza, because it's a highly, what's the word, incendiary, not the right word to use, but it's a highly, it's just like so full of, you can't really say karma with it. But in the past, that's the judgment card. So more importantly, what's in the future? Okay. Well, it's not surprising if things escalate, that we can all see, with all the countries around and everything, and various opinions. So we have the Nine of Swords. Here you have Orestes. Orestes is being tortured by the Furies, because Orestes has agreed to kill his mother because his mother killed his father. Blah blah blah. It's all very unfortunate, violent and aggressive, which is probably just right for this reading about humanity. But Orestes here is having sleepless nights. He feels guilt, he feels shame, he feels terrible, he feels like he's got no hope because he's been asked to do this terrible thing. Apollo will punish him if he doesn't do it, and the Furies will punish him if he does. It's another kind of, it's a funny echo of this one, between a rock and a hard place. Where do you go? This is sleepless nights, worry, anxiety. It's deep kind of, and I think humanity kind of deserves to be there. Humanity should be going, what on earth are we doing? Surely there's enough people on earth to put this right. Surely there's enough people not to be celebrating the death of other people. surely there's more to us than this. And I know there is, because I see some great work being done between lots of different countries through all the wars. There are people doing wonderful stuff and saying, no, I'm not going to do that, and I'm not joining in with that, and I'm going to offer the bow of peace to my fellow neighbours in whatever countries and stuff. Do you think we can all just get on and just go, fine, you want to practice that religion, go for it. Just don't force it on everybody else. You want to be that sexuality, great, go for it. Just do whatever you want. You want to be that gender, go for it, Doesn't matter. Just get on with it. Just be it. You don't have to kind of, make everybody else do the same. It's very simple, I always think. It's like, great, live and let live. What's happened to live and let live? Free speech, everyone happy, I don't know. Anyway, let's have a look. So that's a 9 of Swords. That's the future, and that could be like an inner search. Going, okay, why am I thinking like this? Why am I doing this? Am I being told to do this by the media? Am I again on the receiving end of huge propaganda? A huge skewed way of delivering information, which is making me feel and think something that actually is completely off whack. I've been there myself. I believe stuff and done stuff and then go, wait a minute, a massive conspiracy theory, and it really pays off when you question and question and question. So yes, I think that could be, there's two things here. We're in for more guilt, shame, worry, anxiety, fear. But again, the important thing about the 9 of Swords is all in the mind almost. We torture ourselves in the mind. And the other thing is not to be it, not to act it. And the other thing is, those sleepless nights. And the other thing is questioning behaviour, questioning why maybe people are celebrating the destruction of others. I don't get it. But I don't live there, so if you've got a whole history there, then maybe it's a whole different ballgame. Well, of course it is, So okay, so where do we find ourselves? Okay. That's interesting. Where do we find ourselves? 10 of Swords, the end of a cycle. People say it's a Kali Yuga. People, I know with the astrology, it's like a big end. 2024 is a massive year, but aren't they all lately? Big, massive, huge years. So this is Orestes on the floor. He's at it. He's just like, I'm exhausted with this. I can't do it. He's absolutely exhausted. The Furies are wanting his head on a pike, and Athena is there saying, no, it's all over. He's basically paid his karmic debt, and he doesn't even know. He thinks he's just lay on the floor to die, and in the background is the sun rising. The 10 of Swords is about endings. It's like the end of a cycle. It's all over. It's like, that's it, I'm done, kind of thing. But in the background, you must always remember with the 10 of Swords as a dawn, it's a new beginning. All endings are new beginnings. So maybe humanity's going to go, I've had enough of this. I'm not doing it. I can't do this anymore. I mean, I know they're talking about, new pandemics and new this and new that. And I saw a guy the other day saying, I'm not doing that again. Even with all the kind of stuff that we know now and all the lies we've been told, I'm never doing that again. I never trust these people. And it's going, maybe this is it again. People just don't trust. All the governments are just showing themselves to be defective humans. It's just like, it's not a very nice thing to say, but they kind of are. They're kind of defective humans, and they're in charge, making the decisions for too many people. So it's like, oh, when's it going to stop? When's decent, compassionate people who can really broker peace and good food and good health and happiness, not run by robots and AI? When is humanity going to... Maybe that's it, you see. Too much AI, too much kind of reliance on robots and computers, and not enough heart, not enough feeling, not enough connection. Anyway, I'm ranting on again. Okay, how do others see this situation? Crikey, who are the others? I don't know, off planet. How are they looking down on Earth as a petri dish? Imagine it, they just put all this kind of species on this planet and said, let's see how they get on again. They've messed it up a few times already. Let's give them another chance. And this is how they're looking down. This card represents Odysseus. Huge intellect, massive brilliance, a kind of intellectual genius, and very well known for his leadership, and a character that's been through hell and high water for all the travels of Odysseus. He's an authority. He's learnt a bit. He knows stuff. Oh, come down and teach humans, will you? Oh, great ones who are not on this planet but are looking on, going, look at what they're doing to each other. Can you believe it? Look at what they're doing to each other. There's the whole earth, and they think there isn't room for everybody. It's just they're fighting over, they're fighting over this. As much as symbolic as I know it is, it's like, oh man. So the people watching down are going, oh, again, it's swords, it's air, it's mind, it's intellect, it's mental prowess, it's mental power, mental strength. Now, I could say, well, that's the elite, kind of. Well, they're not elite at all, are they? They're more dysfunctional than any other human on the planet. It's the real f-ups. It's the real kind of deranged, the people that should be in bedlam with the straight jackets on, but they wouldn't be truly intellectual, would they? So I'd like to think they're more off planet. So they're looking down, going, oh, look at this. Boy, does that race need some help. Boy, does it need some help. Here they are. So there's the King of Swords going, oh, really? Again? Okay, what's the hopes and fears? Okay, I wasn't expecting that. That's a bit kind of dilute. So we have the Page of Wands. So the hopes and fears, the pages. Pages are always like naivety. This is Phrixus. He was sent to take the golden fleece. That's the golden fleece. He's basically saving it for Zeus. Basically, he's fleeing a war. His sister was on the golden fleece. She fell off. This is Phrixus, who is a kind of he's a catalyst. Phrixus is a catalyst. So we need a catalyst. Phrixus is so he takes the golden fleece and basically. Now here's another thing you see. He takes the golden ram, who saves him from death, and he goes full on, lands with the golden fleece safely, and then he kills the ram and skins it for its golden fleece to give back to Zeus. So the thing that saved you, you're actually now slaughtering. I think that's a very weird symbolism, isn't it? Hopes and fears that we don't have to slaughter the thing that saves us. I don't know. It's like, okay. So it's fire. It's a Page of Wands. It's basically in classic kind of tarot. It would be the naivety, the restlessness. The Page of Wands is about a restless kind of irritation. Something's not right. Something doesn't feel right. Something is like causing a bit of an upset within. And the idea is that the Page of Wands wants to set off. He's got all these ideas of doing something different, but maybe they're just kind of fantasies about doing something different, because there's a kind of disharmony with what's going on at the moment. So maybe the impetus here is that there's a restlessness, and maybe that restlessness will cause humanity to raise its vibration and be all the things it can be. I mean, I know there's millions of people across the planet doing so much good work to raise the vibration of humanity, and then there's this dense, dark energy in pockets around the world, which really do need to really feel that. So, what's the outcome? Oh, okay, that's a bit kind of dilute. Okay, the outcome at this moment for humanity is the Page of I want to say page of air, a page of swords. This is Zephyrus, the west wind. And again, it's quite interesting because the west wind, as a youth, Zephyrus, this character here, the west wind, was spiteful and malicious. What came out of his mouth was spiteful and malicious and damaging and harmful with the west wind. It's quite interesting, isn't it? When he grew up, he ended up marrying Iris. Do you remember Iris, Temperance, goddess of the rainbow? And Zephyrus, this is quite a nice thing actually when I think about it. Zephyrus turned into a sweet, scented, like breeze that used to blow through the Elysium fields, which is like heaven for the souls of fallen heroes. Okay, so the outcome is from the malicious violence of what can come out of the mind and be spoken. As it matures, things soften and become sweet and kind. Maybe that's the transformation. Maybe the whole transformation and the end of the cycle of the Ten of Swords ends up being the sweet wind. You know, the message is just grow up, everyone. Stop being so bloody horrible and malicious and spiteful. Stop saying these things. Stop doing these things. You know, I do believe in what goes around comes around. What you wish for other people has a way of finding its way back to you. I'm a big believer in karma. And sow as you reap as you sow. So whatever you're wishing on other people, just be very mindful that might just find its way back to you in a way at some point, or someone you know close to you. So, you know, only wish on people that you would wish on yourself or for those that you love. So that makes sense. I'm very tempted to see what else. But the Page of Swords, I'm going to put that down. Diane, put them down. So the Page of Swords, Zephyrus, the west wind. Yes, and it's so it's known really as a kind of gossip, and not to gossip, not to be drawn into gossip. Actually, that's a really good thing to say before we finish. So the outcome: don't gossip, don't bitch behind backs, don't fall into that trap of the worst kind of aspects of humanity. You know, just try and again raise the vibration, raise the frequency. Feel the compassion. Look at the reality. You know, don't be kind of, you know, don't fall into the illusion of what's fed you and what is right and what is wrong. All is right, all is wrong. You know, that kind of stuff. It's don't gossip, and become the sweet scented breeze of Elysium. You know, speak words of flowered scent, you know, things that help people, words that uplift, words that heal. Okay, I think that's quite a comprehensive reading for humanity and where we find ourselves, and good guidance again to move through it. The whole trusting thing, and so interesting to get the Knight of Swords and the Page of Swords and the Knight of Wands and the Page of Wands. So, you know, from the page and the naivety into, you know, more of the impetus, and then the swords, you know, the torture, the mental torture, and the Ten of Swords, the endings. So, and yeah, this. Reap as we sow. The whole karmic thing. Just be careful what you're saying and what you're wishing and what you're condoning, what you're putting your thumbs up, what you're liking, what you're accepting. Make sure you're not accepting the unacceptable, and get back into your own mind. Get back into this intelligence, power of intelligence, power of the mind, strength of the mind. Grab your mind back. As I often say, there's a war on for your soul, and that starts with the mind. Keep your mind clean, keep it full of things that are uplifting, good for your immune system, good for your heart and soul, and make you feel bright, okay? And it's not easy when you see some of the stuff that's being posted at the moment. So prayers and light and wellness and healing and true descending of the divas and bright spirits to bring clarity and healing into this whole situation in all areas of the world. So I hope you enjoy that, and I will be back with you very soon. Okay, take care.